Lots of political leaders have been caught in scandalous affairs. Bill Clinton's sexcapades, Arnold Schwarzenegger caught fathering a child with his maid, and many more. Looking back in history, one of the most covered-up scandals in U.S. history was President Harding having a child with a woman half his age. Imagine if that happened today. President Harding's was the 29th U.S. president from 1921 to 1923. Harding slept with an astronomical number of women, and one affair led to an unplanned pregnancy. He also had an affair with his secretary, his friend's wife, and his wife's friends, and, let's be honest, he also may have another child out of wedlock. After his death, she published a book about her affair with President Harding. If you don't think it can get more scandalous, just wait, but give a like and subscribe. I told you it gets more scandalous. President Harding died suddenly, and he may have been poisoned by his own wife. Let's get into it. Sources are listed in the description box. Go ahead, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Warren G. Harding was known for being basically a player. He was born in Ohio in 1865, the last year of the Civil War. His parents were both doctors, even his mother. He had 5 siblings, and after attending Ohio Central College became a teacher. He later dabbled in different career fields but became passionate in journalism. With the help of 2 friends, he bought a local newspaper, Marion Star newspaper. When Warren was around 25 years old, he married to Florence Mabel Klingdulf. The woman was a divorcee, 5 years older than Warren, and had a son from her first marriage around the age of 10. She was wealthy due to ex-husband and being born in wealth. Apparently, Dulf was infatuated with Harding, and he gave in. Harding's newspaper business had moderate success. He gained political connections from there, served in office as a state senator, attending political conventions now and then. Went back to his business. In 1917, Senator Harding met a young lady, Nan Britton. She was around 20, and Harding was more than 50 years old. Alarm before we continue, Constituted.am. Maddie does not support grooming. This is just the intention to state and lay out historical scandals, biographies, and events. When Harding was the editor of Marion's newspaper, Nan's father would submit pieces the paper would sometimes published. Britton, just like many women of her time, found Harding to be a handsome man.
Women, we have spent decades fighting for our right to vote. So when you go to those booths and cast your ballot, remember, Warren G. Harding is way the cutest!
She even had newspaper photos of him on her wall. If you want to read more detail, you can read the book yourself. In the book, Anne Britton retells how she lost her virginity to Harding. She also wrote that she would be invited to the White House and continued affair inside a closet, Harding's office couch. A Secret Service agent would even warn Harding if his wife was approaching. Heading back now, when Harding and Britton continued on with the affair, he even got her a job in D.C. at the U.S. Steel Corporation. In 1919, Britton found out she was pregnant and had the child on October 22, 1919. In 1920, Harding won the Republican nomination for president and eventually won the presidential election. He beat Democratic candidate James Cox. Interesting fact: when the Democratic Party voted on their nominees, Franklin D. Roosevelt of New York was the second spot. The affair continued, and when the daughter was born, Harding made child support payments. Harding met his daughter, Elizabeth Ann Britton, in 1923, the same year he passed away. Just keep in mind this wasn't the only woman Harding paid hush money to. Another woman, Carrie Phillips, would be paid $5,000 a month to never tell a soul of her affair with President Harding. In the letters between Phillips and Harding, it revealed that Harding nicknamed his dick Jerry. The affair continued, and in 1923, President Harding died in office, was succeeded by Vice President Calvin Coolidge. When Anne Britton told the public about the affair, she was labeled pervert, slut, gold digger, money-hungry succubus, other derogatory names. In 1964, an article in the New York Times laid out what exactly happened to Anne Britton. After Harding's passed away, She did tell people of the affair, and even when the child was born, Nan's sister, Elizabeth Willits, adopted the child and took care of her early on. Later, Nan Britton raised the child in Evanston, a suburb in Chicago, Illinois. The daughter graduated high school, married, and had a family of her own. Nan Britton lived in Chicago for the rest of her life and passed away in 1991, around the age of 96. This ludicrous affair is underrated compared to other scandals such as President Clinton and Monica Lewinsky and President Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe. It is quite remarkable that Nan Britton even published a book about the affair. Even though the affair happened almost 100 years ago, it's still unbelievable how many times Nan Britton and President Harding would hide in a closet, how much hush money was paid by the Republican National Convention, and lastly the fact that President Harding may have been poisoned by his wife. Make sure to subscribe because there will be another video on the question if President Harding was poisoned. If you're really history buff, you'll follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
We got DNA testing, and what does it reveal? President Warren G. Harding did father a child out of wedlock. Now that
means for you and your family?
It means everything. It means that it's over, and now we can sigh relief. We can just not have to worry about it, not have to think about this anymore. Now we know that the truth is out there, and everyone will know. And that the biggest part of this is my grandmother's happy. She's got the biggest smile on her face, and so does my mom.